Is there anything you heard from him today that you would really support if he went through with?
I mean, I really like that he's against vaccine mandates. I'm vaccinated. I just hate the idea that the government owns people's bodies. I hate coercion. I'm all about individual rights, individual choice. He said a lot of things that I like. I'm only skeptical because he's only really been talking about these things for about 2 months, 2 or 3 months, whereas some other people have met, like Bernier and Baver, have been talking about them for a while.
Yeah, I just love him. I love watching him in the House of Commons and asking the other side a question. They can never answer his questions.
Andrew Chapados here for Rebel News at Pierre Poilievre's Toronto stop on his campaign tour at the Steam Whistle Brewery. We're going to try to get a couple questions into Pierre. We've got a very big crowd here, very diverse, very supportive. CBC is here. Everybody's here. Let's go check it out.
Another $1 billion. We're going to defund the CBC.
You can see mainstream media, CBC News is here. They didn't want to talk to us. They said, people can tell them that they love Pierre Poilievre, but they can't tell them why. And they didn't want to do an interview with us, though, because they're there, just to spread the truth to the Canadian people.
Yeah, I just love him. I love watching him in the House of Commons and asking the other side a question. They can never answer his questions.
Okay, you want to tell us what brings you out here? Are you a Pierre fan?
I am, yes, very much so. I feel like the way this country's been headed recently, we've been headed in the wrong direction, both economically, socially, and just about every way you can. Under this Prime Minister, I don't see a future for Canadians, not one that I see under Pierre, at least.
Is there anything you heard from him today that you would really support if he went through with?
I mean, I really like that he's against vaccine mandates. I'm vaccinated. I just hate the idea that the government owns people's bodies. I hate coercion. I'm all about individual rights, individual choice. He said a lot of things that I like. I'm only skeptical because he's only really been talking about these things for about 2 months, 2 or 3 months, whereas some other people have met, like Bernier and Baver, have been talking about them for a while. I'm open. I'm considering him. I'm interested. I'm glad. I'd much rather have him than Charest or Trudeau. Don't get me wrong, but I think my people are a little bit skeptical. He's gonna have to do a little bit more work to prove that he means what he says. But I like almost everything he's saying.
We think of the small businessman who mortgaged his house to open a restaurant only to have it shut so many times he couldn't open it anymore. And that's just the medical freedoms that we've lost over the last several years. Think also about the economic freedoms.
What are one of the policies he talked about tonight that if he implemented them, you'd be really excited about?
Freedom of choice. Because
mandates?
Exactly. I'm a professional actor, have been for 49 years, and I can't work anymore because I'm not double vaccinated. Most of the U.S. productions are still asking for that silly nonsense of double vaccination. And our union, ACTRA, and even the crew union, IATSE, are not stepping up and speaking for their members. They're just letting it happen. So after 49 wonderful years as a professional actor, a career that I love, I've sort of been forced out to retirement. And I'm still young and healthy. And I'm 72 and I'm raring to go. But I'm working on my own projects, so the heck with them. And we'll hire vaccinated and unvaccinated people. It won't matter.
But the lady who was doing a Facebook post about raising funds for the local hockey club in her Brampton neighborhood, she would not be considered Canadian content because she doesn't have a lobbyist to get the government gatekeepers at the CRTC to favor her online post. What this is about is concentrating more and more power in the hands of government, taking it away from the people and giving it to the powerful further.
He does talk a lot about the housing market, which I can appreciate. I'm 25 myself, and I don't see a future where me and my girlfriend, who make a reasonable income for our age, are able to save enough money to actually be able to afford a house. I live in Milton in an apartment right now. It's outside the GTA, not too far. For me to even consider buying a house there, I'm talking saving almost my whole life for a mortgage that I'm going to have to pass on to somebody else because there's no way I'm paying it in my lifetime. And that's a scary thought. I think that if Pierre is able to somehow tackle the housing crisis, that would be the number one issue for me. And I feel like I speak for a lot of younger Canadians when I say housing is a serious issue for us.
And I want you guys to know that we tried to ask the questions that you guys wanted to know about first and foremost, but they just wouldn't let it happen. So if you like this reporting, go to leadershipreports.ca and consider contributing so we can keep coming to events like this all across the country.